We are so excited today on our new show, Between Two Vines, premiering our newest employee to our district in the athletic department, Athletic Director Sylvester Cifaloglio, otherwise known as Coach Schiff. We're going to get to know him a little bit more today so that we can hear about some of the great plans that he has in store for the athletic department. Coach Schiff, thank you for joining our team.
Thank you for having me. Welcome.
Excellent, excellent. So just to start with, what motivated you to become an athletic director?
Well, athletics has done so much for me in my lifetime. And I'm not someone who received a college scholarship or was ever the best player on his team. But you learn so much through participation in sports, whether you're winning or losing, starting or on the bench. And I wanted to be able to give our student athletes a chance to learn some of the same valuable experiences that I learned growing up. And I just think in this role, as opposed to being a coach and a physical education teacher, I can just provide them with more opportunities, more games, tournaments, more exposure that they may not have gotten in the past.
That's great. That's great. So your experience has been as a phys ed teacher and also as a coach. So how many years of teaching?
This is my 16th year as a health and physical education teacher, my 12th in Vineland. I began coaching as soon as I graduated high school. So I coached football for about 19 years. I coached football for about 15, and there was some wrestling and some track and field mixed in there too.
Wow, excellent. Mm-hmm. So multi-sport coach,
yeah, absolutely,
and a phys ed teacher, all at the high school level?
No, I've been at every level. But it started at middle school. When I first came to Vineland, it was elementary level, and then my last 8 here at the high school.
Oh, that's excellent, excellent. So you get to see the development of our student athletes
value at each
from
level.
Babies.
And even though I've been here for 12 years, I still have students in the high school that I actually taught back in elementary school at Dane Barcy.
Wow, so that's wonderful. Getting to see full circle.
Yeah, it's really
so, in a nutshell, the athletic department, it's huge. We have middle school sports, we have high school sports. Can you describe what the culture of the athletic department team feels like, looks like, smells like?
Yeah, well, so in the athletics office right now, it's pretty new. I think most people know. You have me, and I began my role July 1st officially, but luckily Mrs. Alvarez here, administration, has given me a chance to kind of dive into that world as I'm teaching. We have Mr. Haynes filling in, who was a principal and an athletic director at Ocean City. We have Miss Ashley Sale, who does everything. She is the queen of our social media accounts, which we put a full court press on that, promoting the students. And we have Miss Jen Jimenez as our new secretary, who keeps us all in order and makes sure we have officials and buses. And in that office, we all come from a very wide array of backgrounds that we all kind of fill in each other's gaps, and we get everything done for the students that needs to be done. You mentioned all the sports we have, so we have everything from lacrosse and football to we have a female golf team for the first time ever. So I think what we see in our office on a daily basis really encompasses what we see in the whole athletic department. You have people with all different specialties, and they all fill in to make us whole, and it's really a beautiful thing when it's all working well and it comes together. It's only going to get better and better.
That's right. That's right. So you're taking over for athletic director Donnie Robbins,
yes, Mr. Robbins,
who had a lot of experience, a lot of time with the program. You're the new guy coming in, but you've been part of that program, so you know the traditions, the history. What are some thoughts about new direction and new ideas that you're going to bring? I heard you're planning some excellent intro to the summer season and to the fall.
Right. So Mr. Robbins, I believe he was here for 17 years. Did an unbelievable job. And I'm just trying to build off of the framework that he laid for us. We talked about social media and through sharing. So we have, again, I love to bring up the kids, but Morgan Harrell Alvarez just got her 100th hit, and just through sharing that on social media, somebody from the Courier Post picks it up, and then they share something with you, and you just see the things all throughout South Jersey and the whole state that are taking off in athletics, such as flag football. There's female flag football teams in the area. I believe we're one of the first in the area with a female golf team. Volleyball is huge with our students. It's a
lot of pressure.
Yeah, it's
volleyball.
a favorite in phys ed,
right?
But, indoors, outdoors, it doesn't matter. So we're going to look into different funding from the state and grants and maybe free opportunities to bring some new sports. A lot of it starts with clubs and intramurals, but hopefully eventually we'll have a few more sports teams here at the high school to kind of keep up with the trends going on in the country.
Right, absolutely. No, it's a very exciting time. We have our standard and kind of go-to sports that we really throw all of our weight behind, like our football team and our softball and baseball and soccer. And just, volleyball is definitely an area our students are asking for. We want a team, right? But now, I know there's a club at this point, so I know you're doing the work to kind of think about how can we bring that and actualize it for our school district. You start talking about some highlights for kids. What else are we proud of? What else are the big announcements that we've seen so far this year?
We always say that they're student athletes. They're not athlete students. Just a few weeks ago, we have a senior football player, basketball player, Tyrell Powell. He has a 4.3 GPA. And he just received the Scholar Athlete Award from the South Jersey Football Foundation.
Wow.
It was a Sunday night. His family was in attendance. Our entire athletic staff was in attendance down at the Carriage House, and they fed us a nice dinner, and they put on a nice ceremony for the Scholar athletes. And he's going to school next year to play football at Marist College in New York, and he's kind of what we're all most proud of right now.
That's excellent, excellent. Any other sports, any other shout-outs?
So we have students committing to colleges all the time. Gavin Gallo, Patrick Gilbert just committed last week. We have Jerry, who played football and basketball, committed. Down at the baseball field, there's scouts in colleges all the time. So, I think that's ultimately what it comes down to. Your conference championships are great, wins and losses, but if we can get students money towards college, scholarships towards college that they may not have had the opportunity to go without those scholarships, I think that's the ultimate goal. So,
and we always like to distinguish, like you said, student athletes,
Absolutely.
right? To be a strong student like Tyler, a 4.3 GPA. So how do you prepare, and how will you, because you're just getting into this role, you've been a part of it, but now you're going to be the lead. Our coaches, our staff, our administrators are going to be looking to you to provide direction on how to maintain student eligibility.
Right.
How do we get our students to really take control of their academics so that they can be a participant in our sports?
Right. I think it starts with communication, communicating with your teachers. Right from the beginning, we encourage students. It's funny, as a phys ed teacher, as long as you're dressed, you're participating, you have a good attitude, you're going to get a pretty good grade. Everybody knows that. So we would joke with players if they had a low phys ed grade, like, hey, go say hi to your teacher, introduce yourself. Let them know that you play on a team. So we love our athletes because they don't go home at 2:30. They're here until 6 every night, and then they have their homework, they have their part-time job. So, let your teachers know that you're someone who's committed to the school and you're working a lot on yourself and doing things for the school. So if we can start building those positive relationships with your teachers from day one, I just think it's going to help in every aspect. And I know as a teacher of 16 years, it's when a student needs extra help, it's much easier to help them when you already have that established relationship and you can speak with them. And it might start with, hey, did you see the Phillies last night? And then, oh, hey, this was due Friday, you haven't turned it in yet. So I think if we encourage our students to communicate with their teachers, build positive relationships, it will help them, in all aspects.
Right. Developing those relationships are incredibly important. So when, it's not just our student athletes that we're worried about, right? We also have to work with the parents and the community and also the larger sports, community. So what are your thoughts about how do we get our parents and the community more involved in a positive way around our athletics program?
Right. So I think social media is the start to that. Miss Sale, she lays out the weekly schedule. Over the weekend, she spends her Sundays creating a nice document to put on the social media sites so parents can be aware of all that. I also, and I'm trying to make more and more people aware of it, but I set the CapeAtlanticLeague.org schedule, and it's really what all of South Jersey athletics runs off of. So parents will see our home games, our away games. At many games are at, it might be away, but it's at Buna, it's at Hamilton, it's at Millville, Bridgeton, right down the street that they can attend also. I also put notes in there when it is senior night. So our track and field team is having senior day today. Mm-hmm. So it's online, CapeAtlanticLeague.org. The community can see that at 3:30, Coach DeShield is going to honor our track and field athletes before their 4 o'clock meet. So I just think that's the way of the world right now. It's through social media and online. And if they're aware of these sites, there's also an app, it's Our Schools Today, that you can download, and it looks just like your calendar on your phone with all the events we have, both home and away. So I think if we can continue to inform the community of what events are happening, especially senior day, senior night, and we get them out here, it'll only improve the culture and improve the environment, get everybody involved.
Well, we're so looking forward to the work that you're going to be doing with our student athletes and our coaches. I know our coaches are excited about having you join the team. That's why everyone calls you Coach Schiff still, right?
Yep.
And that's, I think that's going to stick with you.
Yeah,
instead of AD Schiff,
Yeah.
Coach Schiff has a nice ring to it. So again, it's been a pleasure getting to know you and we'll be here supporting you and the athletic team, the department, the coaches, the community to get and achieve amazing things. So again, thank you, sir.
Thank you so much for coming.